One of the bigger reveals this past week, even though it was almost shadow revealed in a way. It was revealed in such a strange way where you're just like, was this on purpose? Did y'all leak this? How did this? And then all of a sudden you saw the PlayStation blog post. It was like, oh, this was your rollout for your next big first party title. All right. We're speaking of Ghost of Yotei, the sequel to Ghost of Tsushima that is scheduled to be released this year. We got a story trailer, we got gameplay, showing off different combat styles. We got basically the Kill Bill Volume 1 trailer of her getting revenge on the people who murdered the people closest to her, complete with costume mask and everything. And
Mhm.
we got a release date dropping first thing in the fall, the first week of October. Now, based on what we've seen, based on the history of the franchise, based on what PlayStation has talked about so far, what do you guys feel about, I guess, his latest trailer with Ghost of Yotei?
Um, I think it was very. I've hit to the point where if it makes sense, I feel like it would deliver. Because there was a Netflix show that I watched. It was a Japanese Netflix show, and it was called Oni City, and it was pretty much the same thing. It was like you're an ex assassin. You did your final job. You go home for dinner with your wife and kid, and next thing you know, here come these masked officials, basically kill your wife in front of you, and you thought they killed your daughter in front of you,
Mm,
and you go on a spree to get them back. So I mean, and I do realize, sometimes when certain trends are happening, like it revolves over into other properties. But then, we don't really know when the true development of this game actually began.
hmm
So, but honestly, when you look back at the first trailer, it was kind of hinted, because even in the cover art, she's holding a piece of cloth with names on them.
hmm
So I was like, you know what? Okay. And I guess, we would understand that if we understood more about, Japanese words and stuff like that. So like, okay, it's a kill list. It's a
Yeah.
kill list. So I mean, it's understandable. I'm glad to see different variety of weapons. No more just a primary weapon and a bow
Yeah.
as a secondary weapon. So I'm excited to see. And to throw in some, Japanese almost Pokemon lore is, oh, it's based in the Sinnoh region. Okay, let's
mm,
go ahead. They said that particular region had a particular past. So let's see how that holds up. I mean, it's a beautiful game. I would like to see what are the gameplay additions on it, the multiplayer aspects of it, but I am a bit concerned about on the company side of things. Like,
hmm
that's how you promote it. That's it.
It almost makes you feel like it should have gotten a state of play this week, right, Tim? Instead of something else,
Yeah, it's
for the
like,
PlayStation game.
yeah, yeah. And I was like, bro, that's it. And that's honestly where I am. Is like that's really it. So like we've come to a point where it's like, bro, where's the real promo? Like how it used to be, bro. Like what happened to developer diaries? What happened to all these other things? Like, come on. I mean, it looks good. It looks good. A fall release. I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, there's still no definitive date for Grand Theft Auto 6. I don't think there's any like pending releases that would challenge that release date as of right now.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm looking forward to it. So it's on my list. Let's just go from there. See what it is.
Okay. S Rank, what about you? What was your thoughts about Ghost of Yotei and what they've revealed so far? The little they've revealed so far.
Um, I mean, it's cool. Um, didn't play Ghost of Tsushima. I could probably pass on Ghost of Yotei too. Um, but for what I'm seeing, it's good cohesive story. Um, you know, yeah, looks cool.
What was the thing that like stopped you from wanting to play Ghost of Tsushima?
I just didn't care for it. The combat didn't wasn't. I played it. The combat wasn't really spectacular. I mean, if you like Assassin's Creed combat, if that gets you going, then then I could see why somebody likes it. I enjoyed Neo's gameplay more, even though it felt floaty. I felt like it was more intuitive for my type of play style.
Hmm.
The variety of combos that I could do. Even I just like the system for Neo more.
Do you like stuff with more magic versus like typical sword and bow and arrow assassination?
No, it just has to play. It just has to be interesting. I like what's that game? Rise of Ronin.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Right.
that see
Right.
that combo, that combat is fire to me.
I
So
mean, but look who it's made by.
Yeah.
yeah. So for me, that's more my style.
Hmm.
That's more of games that I mean I like playing. So it was cool. Yeah, Magic. The fantastical part's always going to be more appealing to me. But if you do
Okay.
it in a way where it's I guess flashier for me, more instinct, where I know I have to use instinct and impulse quickly. That's more my style. And so yeah, that's pretty much it. It's just a beautiful game. For anyone who likes it, there's nothing negative to say story wise.
Mm.
Just I felt like there was other things I could have played more that I liked. So
I mean, that's fair. One of my friends recently just played Ghost of Tsushima for the first time, and he ended up really liking it. But I told him like it's a weird game to recommend because to me the game doesn't truly get interesting until you get to the second island. Like there's like
mhm.
three islands. It's like a
Three
3 island story
districts.
arc. Sorry,
Three.
districts. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like that's basically saying like, hey, put about like 8 hours of gameplay in, and then you'll really enjoy it. So that's a hard recommendation because essentially a lot of the game's strength combat wise is in the sword styles, right? You get like I think 4 different sword styles that you can use to combat with, and once you unlock those, the different stances you can use makes the gameplay significantly more interesting.
Hmm.
However, the journey to that is very linear,
Yeah.
so like it is hard to be like, it's fire from day one. It's like, well, I mean, it gets fire. And by the end, I was enjoying myself. But in the beginning, I was like, I don't know. I don't know about this one. I feel like I've been duped, you know?
Yeah, like yeah, like for me playing Sekiro and those combat systems are just for me I find more interesting
Mm,
and more quick response time games that I love where I have to be split second of a frame and making sure my attacks are connecting. But yeah, it was cool, and I didn't have a PlayStation 5 at the time, so it wasn't really a priority. So,
mm.
um, but yeah, it's cool. I'll be fine. I mean, yeah, it'll be dope, man. I think I'm looking forward to it. Finally get a from the ground up PlayStation 5 game.
Oh, facts.
That is a fact.
You know,
That is a fact.
The last
the
one we got
acting
was
is
Marvel
good.
Spider-Man 2, so
Yeah,
that says a lot.
I was just like, this is Kill Bill from Oren Ishii's perspective.
And that's where
I've always loved
I,
Volume
I
1.
feel like, all right, when she named the different like people, like, okay, please make these boss battles very interesting. Because and I feel like it like especially when she said the code names, I think the boss battles should reflect that. Oh, the
I think it
Oni,
will.
the dragon, the kitsune, like let these things like because to be honest, when you bring in bosses like that, and I think Joy will understand this. You remember that time in the original Thundercats when Lionel had to prove himself. So he had to face each of his the people that he was with and they all stood for something. Panthro was strength, Tigra was mind, Chitara was speed. Um, Wily Cat was like your level of cunning. Like let every boss battle have a particular meaning. And I think that would actually be very cool. Like, I think that would actually be very well. Like, bring some like level of depth to these boss battles, where it's just like, all right, let me just deplete your life bar and that's it.
I mean, for that to take place, man, the environment will play a heavy role in that fight.
But
So
but
I,
that's one thing.
you have to
This
have that.
I think it
that's one.
might. The irony of all of this is that um for Jory especially, it's like Ghost of Tsushima borrows very, very heavily from Rurouni Kenshin. So like the
Mhm.
fact that he was like, I don't like him, like, well, a lot of the elements that Rurouni Kenshin uses where it's like it's these simpler things that kind of get trumped up to sound more legendary than they are. Right. So like in Ghost, like, oh, there was a man who had the burning sword, and every time he swung his blade, flames came out. Only to find out that he was wrapping his sword in gasoline and just lighting it on fire
Like
until the gas went
oil,
out.
yeah,
Oh yeah,
oil.
oil, yeah. So like they had that legends aspect in the game where it's like you're fighting you're hearing a story that sounds almost ridiculous, and you come to find out that there's like a trick to it. Like technically he is fighting with a flaming sword, but he couldn't just light his sword on fire because he was magic. So I feel like Ghost of Yotei, hopefully, that whole thing will be like where it's like, oh, the spider, like I was saying in the group chat. So they use more trap based, weapons, or some more trap based battlefields where like a lot of that whole like he can move like a spider, like he always caught you off guard, da 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 da. It's like I feel like all that should play a part in why we're doing this whole revenge filled journey.
But the thing is, when you compare it to Yoni Kenshin, you would have to almost execute, if you're gonna do a game like that, you would have to execute it the way Spider-Man does, or um Metal Gear Solid Rising, when you have that up close and personal interaction with the boss. You know, to like where it's like a quick time event, but it's still a part of the game mechanic in defeating the boss.
Mhm.
So you would have to do that to execute it. So those things go just a little bit more further than that's how Yoroni Kenshin executed it, because they were very personal uh interactions, you know what I'm saying? Like if I'm making any sense.
Mhm.
Kind of like how if you're playing as Piccolo and you have to kind of move rapid, so Goku has to you have to kind of, yeah, that's where those things have weight when you do it that way, so I see what you mean, but for me that's the only thing I would want Ghost of Yote to do, focus more in on, if they're gonna have those variety different bosses with different styles.
Mhm.
You would have to make that ending conclusion battle. The only place where I can do this is with him fighting, making that more monumental.
I
So
mean, we'll see. I think the
yeah,
thing that makes this entire discussion kind of funny is like we only saw a 3-minute trailer, and about half of
we
it was
we did.
cutscenes.
Really,
Yeah,
So
I mean, we did so.
really.
But I'm just going off of what I know Ghost of Tsushima base to be.
Mhm.
So of
Yeah.
I
course
mean,
I'll
I
be
definitely
expecting
see.
more, but
And Sucker Punch is a very interesting developer. I would definitely give them that. So they have some room for very genuine creativity.
Mhm.
But then I've also realized with them, and this is one thing I really do like about their styles, they're very quick to wrap things up. Because to be honest, I get it. Most people think, oh, give us another sequel. You're like, no, they're like, no, we're ready to move on to something else.
Mhm.
And that's something about them I really do appreciate.
Yeah, they don't really stay stuck on anything for too long. Like even
Yeah.
though they did Infamous Last Son, it's like you really didn't
You
need it.
didn't really need to.
Yeah. Yeah.
You didn't really need to because I tell people all the time, Infamous 2 out of the entire mainline trilogy was 2 was the best.
Mhm.
2 is the best to me.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
They they
we'll see where it goes.
they made I feel like they found that good balance of making Cole feel like overpowered but not broken. And that's a hard thing to do in a game like that where I'm like, I feel like I could take everybody, but I also feel like I could die. And I feel like Sucker Punch you're right, they found a good way to balance that of like feeling like you have the power, but also being like, yeah, but just relax. Like ghost mode in Tsushima is not gonna get you out of every jam. It's like, fair enough, fair enough, fair enough.
That's
But
true.
I guess we'll see, right? I mean, it's probably safe to say that we'll see this pop up again during Summer Game Fest, if not shortly after. I mean, the game's out in October, so I would imagine that
Hopefully we get another press play.
who knows, right? That's this Sony's new marketing strategy where they tell us nothing and everything's a blog post. I'm like, I don't know what this is. I don't know what's happening here. It's like it's not like Xbox, who's probably oversharing. It's not like Nintendo, who's just giving us mixed messages. It's like they're just not saying anything. You just get like a link. It's like, oh, the PlayStation YouTube channel has been updated. Okay, what's over here? Like it's just very odd. And I'm like, okay, I'm not sure what changed and why.